Welcome to the Comeback Athlete Podcast, and I'm your host Blake, and I'm here with Connor, and we are here kicking it again. We're going to talk a little bit today about what is remote coaching, what is personalized programming, and then how is it different than just doing a subscription from maybe like a major gym or some sort of online fitness influencer. So we get this comment a lot when we've talked to people about our service, and so we just wanted to take some time to explain it a little bit, go a little bit more in depth of what we do, what we offer, how we're a little bit different, and why we're such a higher ticket item, because we do a lot more than just throw you workouts. So I'm gonna throw this to you. What's been like the most common question you've gotten when regards to comparing you to like a subscription when people ask you about your service?
Yeah, I mean, man, I've had so many scenarios. I mean, I think of most people, they're just like, yeah, can you just write me a workout plan for like better core? And I'm like, yeah, I'm just like, man, you have no idea what I do. So it's like my first, response to that is usually, hey, listen, let's just go grab like coffee. Let's go set up a meeting. One, so I can just explain like what we do first. Because most of the times people have like no idea that's even a thing, like what we offer, right?
Right.
Like, man, you offer way more than just like workouts, and we're like, yeah, like way more than that. Yeah. Ask the question again, because I feel like I'm not really answering.
Yeah. So like, let's say someone DMs you, or you're in person and you're talking, and they're like, hey, like, what is this coaching thing you do, and why is it so expensive? Like, why can't you just write me some workouts and it'd be like this subscription over here that's $30 a month?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. This is also like a pet peeve of mine as well. Is when people are like, and especially now, right? That I'm like educated in it. I think naive me when I'm 16, 17 years old, when I'm like looking up like vertical jump programs, I'm like, oh yeah, this is the best one ever.
Yeah.
And I think what people don't realize is there's not a single program out there that can just cater towards the individual that's like already templated, right?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So it's like you have that program has no idea what your schedule's like throughout the day. They have no idea what you're eating. They have no idea how much you're sleeping. They have no idea like how much time you have to even recover from the workout. Like, yeah. And again, that I think this all kind of stems back from like this stuff should be taught in like health class in high school.
100%.
Right? And just not. And I'm just like, that's why we live in such an unhealthy world. I would even go to say like why America is unhealthy. And I can kind of say that. So I'm from Bermuda, so I can kind of maybe beat down on America.
It's messed up, man. It's messed up.
But it's true though, in the sense of like, man, like either like, well, this program's not working, I'm just gonna try another one, or I'm gonna try a different diet. I'm like this diet is catered towards 1 million people, right? And they're just trying to just sell you something that looks good, like, and I think that's what people think we do. It's like, oh, we're just selling this program and we've written this 1 million times. I'm like, no, that's totally different. Like, that's why the whole first conversation that we're doing, we're just trying to get to know you. Like, what have you been doing? Yeah. We want to know your training history, right? It's so important for us because they can even set up like what your training is going to look like now. What does your day-to-day look like? How much time do you have to work out, right? Because if I give you a training templated program that's 90 minutes a day and you can only get 30 minutes out of it, of course you're not going to see any results.
100%.
Right? Because you're maybe only going to get through the warm-up,
Yeah.
So, it's just again, like I think we'll probably say this on every podcast we ever do, is we coach the whole person. Yeah. Right? It's more than just workouts. And we can explain that to you of like the science behind why it has to be more than just working out. Because workouts do matter, but it only matters if you're doing all these other things as well.
100%. So. I'm so glad you said that. Like, yeah. And it's like, it's funny because you could Google everything we're going to tell you, and do it. But like, the purpose of the coach is the relational alignment and the connection to how it applies to you when, right? It's like comedy, right? Like a joke's only funny if you land it at the right time. It's like if you're off time, it's like, dude, that joke could have killed if you did it 3 seconds earlier, or like
3 years ago.
Or 3 years ago, right? Like, but it's not funny anymore. And so same thing with fitness. Like, you might be applying something to yourself that could work, but it doesn't work for you anymore. Right. And there's things that may have worked in the past for some people, but they don't work anymore based on how your life has changed. And so, like, what we do, and I love you say this because I remember, so I get mentored by Michael Bann. He's my coach, and he said something to me a couple like months ago that was stuck with me. And he's like, I started like coaching CrossFit classes, and I would see this program, and the program was like fine. I thought it was actually a decent program. 3 people would get stronger, 3 people would stay the same, and 3 people would get hurt. He's like, so was it really the program that did that? Or was it like that it's for the individual? It was a great program for 3 people. Right. It was an okay program for 3 people, and then it was like just not a good season for that program for 3 other people. Yeah. But it really wasn't the program's fault, right? It was the application to the individual, and that's what we do. We apply right workouts, subscribe workouts at the right time for people, and a lot of that is the painful, frustrating question of like, why are we doing what we're doing? Right. So like if you pick a cool program because they just sold you and you saw some people with 6-pack abs and PR in their lifts and you're like, dude, that's the program for me because that's what I want to do. Right. There's so many questions I have for you right there. And I want to know, like, can you even do a proper back squat? And then on the other hand, it's like, do you have the time to do what those guys do? Do you really want to skip ice cream with your kids because you don't, like you wanted 6-pack abs that bad? And you know what I'll do sometimes? I don't know if you've ever done this, and maybe this is a bad coaching style. Maybe Connor's more mature than me on this. But some people that like are a little bit more stubborn that I love, and I love working with them, I will give them what they want. And what will happen is in like a week, they'll come back to me and be like, I don't really want to do that anymore. Right. I had some people who were like, I really want to do CrossFit. I want to really get better and stronger for CrossFit. Right. And I put them through a week of testing. They're like, I don't really want to get that great at CrossFit. And it was like perfect because they arrived at their own conclusion, and I made it really safe and easy to be like, dude, I get it. Like, we can still throw down and have some fun without getting quote unquote better at CrossFit. And we might even get better at CrossFit not doing all of that stuff that I was going to test you on. Right. And I ran on a tangent there, but do you have anything to add to that? Like,
no, I have so much. I mean, I love the thing that you keep like alluding to, and Sean, I'm pretty sure Sean, I get governed by.
You should say that. You get governed by Sean governed.
Yeah, and his mentorship that he built out for me, he calls it the governship.
The governship, I love
it. He's told me multiple times, man, it's like, there's no perfect program out there, but what makes a good coach is understanding when to apply that program to that person, right? Or that specific workout. Because, most coaches think, and again, I would say this was me, it's like you're trying to reinvent the wheel, right? You're trying to like do something like no one's ever had, and it's like, listen.
Make it sexy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's like, listen, man, like people have been doing this for a long time, and there's a reason why the people that are the most successful are doing the same thing over and over again. It's like, listen, why they are so successful is because they know exactly when to apply principles that have been around forever at the right exact time. Right? And I think that was a huge learning curve for me. It's like, man, like I don't have to worry about making it sexy all the time, like the way it looks and everything. It's like, man, these principles work if I give them to them at the time that they need them. So I think that's super important. I think the other thing you were talking about, like as far as training, is like it just surprises me how, again, this goes back to like even maybe our education system, how much people are uneducated with all of this, right? So they will think like, oh, like I see so-and-so doing this online, like I want to do it. I'm like, listen, like they do this for a living. You only have 60 minutes in a day. So like, let's just try to, figure out your expectations first. And you even talked about just giving them what they want. Like, I have done that with clients before. So, like, because that's sometimes the only way for them to wake up and, like, listen, you're not going to be able to achieve this with your current lifestyle. You're just not going to be able to. And that's okay. And if you're not okay with that, then you're going to have to make some kind of life adjustments. Yeah. Right? But it's not my fault that you're not achieving this, right? And it's like, I hate being the bad guy. I'm like, I hate being, hey, you're not going to be a games athlete, or you're not. But I was like, listen, I'd rather be the one that's going to tell you so you don't have to find out the hard way.
100%.
Where you're just going to go and dig yourself into the ground for 10 years and never even get close to your goal. I'm just like, man, I feel like I would be doing you a disservice. So I want to be honest with you. Like, listen, we can get you super fit and get you some cool goals, but it's just like, let's figure out, like, hey, with the time that you have, with your lifestyle now, like, this is what's actually realistic, right? And I think that's the biggest word. It's like, what is realistic for the person? And kind of just showing them that, and I think, too, it's like, I've had clients leave me before, and I've had to, like, learn this the hard way, I guess, but not even. It's just like, they're like, hey, I want to go get better at this. And then we start doing it. Like, oh, I hate doing this. I'm like, well, how do you think we're going to get better at it if we never even touched it?
Yeah.
Right? It's like, I want to get better at lifting. And then they're like, oh, like, I hate lifting all the time. I'm like, you know what I mean? Like, and again, I think there's, like, some behind the scenes where, again, the coach can kind of, like, flare it up and make it sexy. But I'm like, at the end of the day, man, if you're going to want to see results in something that you want to get better at, we're going to have to do that thing. And if you don't like touching your weaknesses over and over again, that's why this is way more than workouts to us, is because we want to dive into why is it so hard for you to show up mentally and do something that you're not good at all the time.
And then set the right expectations for it.
And set the right expectation. And we're not expecting you to say, hey, every day is weakness day. We're going to focus on your weakness. But, hey, listen, if you want to get better at this certain thing and we're doing it every Monday, like, and you just don't do the workout, and then you come back like, I'm just not getting better at pull-ups. I'm like, yeah, you missed the pull-up workout every Monday.
Yeah.
Like,
it's because you hate it.
Yeah.
It's
and
good
but it's like, let's answer the real question. Like, why don't you like doing pull-ups? Why do you want to do pull-ups anyway? Are you trying to do it because you want to do something cool like ring muscle-ups and you want to show everybody?
Yeah.
If that's your end goal, then let's readjust everything. Right? Because then if you're just like, hey, I just want to feel fit and have, like, a strong back, great. We can do multiple different things where we don't have to do pull-ups every single day of the week.
Right.
To get better at that. So, yeah, man, I can go on this tangent forever.
No. No. And I've had all those same experiences. And I've had them also in the positive where, like, and I think this is where you and I, as more seasoned coaches now, like, have learned from those mistakes, right? Where we kind of, like, because every one of us who gets into this we want to help you guys achieve your goals. Like, we get that athlete, like, touchdown or hit that 3-point game winner when you guys do that now. Like, we live vicariously somewhat through our clients' success in a healthy way, but, like, so we want that for you, but at the same time, our goal is to set you up for a real reality of how hard it will be to achieve it and what you're willing to sacrifice to get there. And that goes with diet, that goes with program, that goes with anything. But I had a great one with, like, this client. He's actually going to be doing his first half Ironman this coming week. And so we had I sat down and did like a 2-hour layout for him for the next 2 weeks, just because it's going to be so much a simulation this next week, and then a lot of deloading and then kind of prepping and mindset stuff right before. Right. So, but when he hit me up with this 9 months ago, he was like, hey, I want to do an Ironman. And I'm like, okay, what happened? Did his, like, wife leave him? Or, like, is this like a childhood dream? He doesn't know how to swim, and now he's going to friggin' do 1.2 mile. Like, what's going on here? And I really challenged him for like 30 minutes. Like, our whole consult was like, all right, dude, are you, like, I had these conversations with him. I was like, are you willing to eat more? Because I know you don't eat enough for an Ironman. Yeah. Right. Are you willing to spend all the money to get the bike and do all the swimming and get a membership and do a lot more training than you're doing now? Yeah. Okay. I think I can do that. Cool. Are you willing to get a little fatter than you are right now? Because you're going to lose probably that 6-pack abs that we worked so hard to get over the last 2 years. Like, are you cool with that? Because you're going to have to eat a ton of carbohydrates now. Right. And he was just, and so he passed, he got green lights on everything. And I'm like, all right, I'm going to, like, let's do this. But, like, I'd love to do this with you. I just want to make sure you know what you're getting into. And here we are 9 months later, and that's like a great success story. But I've had so many people where it's also been the other. It's like, I want to do this great thing. And so when anybody, like, twists that, and I've had clients for, 4 or 5 years that I've just continued to coach, and we'll have lots of ventures. I want to do bodybuilding. I want to do a CrossFit competition. And it's the same conversation when you make those U-turns. It's like, why do we want to do this? And here's all of the checkpoints I want you to think about before you really do this. And And so the reason we talk about, back to our main topic, like what's a subscription versus what we just described, it's a relationship. And that relationship is a lot more valuable than people think. Like the work that Connor puts in, the work I know I've put in, like of just conversations, research, studying, and asking hard questions that don't make us feel comfortable. It's not why we want to do this, but making sure that you're in the best position to be the healthiest and most successful person you can be with your fitness and health is something a subscription can never give you. Like if you get it from a subscription, you're just kind of getting lucky. Like, not to be a jerk, but like subscriptions are made for you to have fun working out and not have to make up the workout. That's all they are. And they're even cooler now because they give you a little bit of variety. You want to do bodybuilding this week, you want to do CrossFit next week, you want to do an Ironman next week, great. But it's like, I don't know anybody who's real successful off of just program hopping. And there's a huge like addiction to, I'm going to go from one program to the next. And I have a bunch of clients who did that, and they're like, this is the first time I don't feel beat up because I'm doing your programming. And the only thing that's different is I know their life, like Connor said. I know when to apply what, and like when to not apply other stuff. Like maybe that's even more important, when not to apply something.
That's so true. I mean, I'm just thinking, you kind of said getting lucky. It's like some just knowledge for people out there. It's like the reason why most people get on these template programs and see like results in the first 3 months, because they never followed anything ever in their lives. So it's just beginner gains, right? It's like, it's going to happen. But I think what we're saying is like, hey, if you want to create a long, healthy lifestyle, like that stuff is not sustainable, right? Because you're going to see results in 3 months, and then you're going to plateau for the rest of your life, right? And that's not like we're just saying that because we want you to join us. That's just research. Like, you can look this up, right? And I think that's what people are trying to do. Is like, okay, this one worked for 3 months, let me go and try something else, and then maybe it works for a month, but then they get to the point where it's like, I am beat up, I can't do this anymore, and they stop working out, right? And I think the nice part about what we do too is we are that one-stop shop for you. So it's like, hey, if you have like these nagging injuries, or you have like certain goals that are kind of like not related, like we get to be that to like kind of like blend all of those for you. Right? So it's like, you're like, hey, I want to get a six-pack, but I also want to work on my shoulder strength. I'll be honest, there's no program out there that says, oh yeah, strong shoulders and core. Like, nobody does that. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I think that's where we can come in and say, hey, listen, like here's your goals. We're going to help you kind of refine these, and then actually give you a long, sustainable plan that you can follow, that you're not going to feel beat up, and depending on what your sport is, right? Yeah. But yeah, I think that's the biggest thing. It's like, we're looking at longevity here. We're not looking at like a 3-month plan and then you're out. Like, we want to partner with you in your life. Yeah. So.
And one of the things we do offer, just as kind of like a, kind of a quick sell point here, but we do blood work with Sean. We mentioned him earlier. And so if you do our elite package with us, like, not only do you get to work with Connor or myself, but you also get blood work done. You get to meet with Sean and get like a full understanding of your blood work and what supplements you'll need, what kind of diet protocols and things like that, so that like not only will the program be fully geared towards you, but also now we know like under the hood, kind of quote unquote, like what we need to be thinking about for you nutritionally to kind of achieve those, whether it's like quicker recovery because you're not getting enough magnesium, or it's just like certain inflammatory foods that you need to avoid, things like that. Another thing that a subscription just can't give you. So please stop comparing us to the subscriptions. I understand where it comes from, but we're quite different. We're not even really in competition. We're a totally different service, and we're not here to just give you workout programs. Like, if you want that is what a subscription is a great service for. But if you want to do so much more and really enjoy your health and fitness and take it to the next level, look no further than Comeback Athlete, and Connor and I would love to work with you. So with that, let's just quickly, you can DM Connor at Connor Custodia, and I won't even try to spell his last name, nor will should he spell mine. But we'll put that in the link below so you guys can check us out, and then or you can just head over to Comeback Athlete and DM us there on Instagram, and we'd love to hear from you and reach back out. So Y'all have a great day. Peace out.